We are 5% down for the month, 5% down overall. This is phase two. So it's not been very. February has been tough. February was tough. I'm recording this video in March. For the first weeks of March, first week we had an exam, second week we took a break because we had to really go deeply into our strategy and find what was wrong. There was nothing wrong, it was me that was just being a bitch. Anyhow, so February took 5 trades, 2 should have not existed. 1, 2, 3. This schema is not really a schema because this is a higher high. I didn't want to acknowledge, I was just rushing. That's just the truth. I was rushing. If we were looking properly, this would have been the schematic. This would have been the schematic. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, roughly tested here. Good retrace, 60 plus retrace. 60 plus retrace, then this thing. 60 plus retrace. Overall, would have been able to probably enter here. But that's not what happened. Anyhow, first trade is where we are. Breakdown, retrace, tested the boundary. Was going well for a very long time. I think it was 2% up at some point. Yeah, we pressed the trade as well. Basically, we entered at a level. Okay, I think I pressed the trade late. And after I pressed the trade, I got stopped shortly after. We closed the trade on a 0.75% loss because we hedged it and we lost around like 1% on the hedge, but recovered it through the SL. So yeah, it was a messy trade. It was messy because of the hedges I placed. There were a lot of news events that happened during the trade itself. I held it for like I think 4 or 5 days till around here. I hedged it here. Then this went well for a while, then came back to stop me. So anyhow, that was what happened for the first trade. At least this trade is qualified because this schematic is qualified. You get? These other 2 trades, they are funny jokes. These other 2 trades in February on this schematic, they are just jokes, honestly. I don't know what happened there. 1, 2 is a very long, old schematic, but this trade is qualified, sure. At least I didn't break any rules here. These 2 are not because this schematic is not qualified. 1, 2 makes a higher high. This becomes 2. Even if 3 doesn't touch the boundary, as far as one of the boundaries is being tested properly, I will say that's fine. If this was the case, we would have been able to enter here. I would have been 1 to 5, 1 to 10% RR, and would have probably passed this thing by now. But that's not what happened. We need to move on. So, trade 1, loss, trade 2, break even. What happened here? This is not trade 2 sharp, but the remaining trades are on EU. First breakout, retrace back in, second breakout. This is not qualified. No matter what happens here, it won't matter because the schematic as a whole is not valid. And if the schematic you're using to place your trades are not valid, you just bleed money. The schematic is wrong, so the trades are automatically wrong. It's just unfortunate. Honestly, it's just unfortunate. Honestly. So there's really nothing to say about these 2 trades. This closed at break even, luckily. This got stopped out in 1 candle. It's not smart. It was not a wise. I didn't even see this thing until now. It was just recently I saw it. But anyhow, we move on. What can we do? I have to move on. At least we know our mistakes now. We learn. It's not to learn here. We stopped following our rules and paid the price. It's as simple as that. There's nothing deep there. When you stop following your trading strategy, you bleed money. It's simple. 1 plus 1 equals 2. It's simple. It's nothing. It's not deep. Stop playing your swing strategy and you lose money. This is a qualified schema. 1, 2, at least the upper boundary. Because this didn't touch here, so it was not tested a lot. So I will not say this is a spring, so it's not valid. This is 1, 2, 3. If you tested here, at least the level that's tested is the level that's solid. But anyhow, yeah. So level boundary is solid. We said this is a retrace. This trade should have not existed. Come on now. This trade should have not existed. The entry counts were not up to 10 pips. Oh fuck. So out of the 5 trades I took in February, only 2 of them were qualified. Because this trade should have not existed. I have a rule that says if the first 3 candles are within 10 pips, basically they're like dojis. Not dojis, but like there's no volatility, the wicks are weak. Like all these pips are practically, all these candles, these first 4 candles, all of them are practically the same line. It means there was no breakout. There was nothing that happened. Nothing happened in these 4 candles. And I have a rule that says that if these 4 candles exist, we kill the trade. We don't place the trade. It's as simple as that. And we did. We placed the trade here and we lost money. Obey your fucking rules and you not have stupid mistakes. I think this was a full loss. It was a full loss. Okay, you might close our CTC. Not bad, not bad. Close it after this candle close. But still, this trade should have not existed at all. Those 2 trades on GU should have not existed. This one should have not existed. What happened was I was getting impatient. Getting greedy, getting lazy. Which caused me to make a lot of mistakes in February. This trade is qualified. As is, if we got that trade on GU, we would have passed this. No, even if we would have now passed, we would have been in profit by now. We would have been in profit. It was a big mistake. Well, it's not just one mistake that was made. Multiple mistakes were made in February. We were practically not just following our strategy. We were kind of following it. We're not even aware that we're not following it properly. As nothing. We're not even aware that we're not following it properly. Well, thankfully, we managed to catch ourselves. I hope I will not be saying this at the end of March. But thankfully, we managed to catch ourselves. And in March, we will trade professionally, obey our rules, obey our strats, and trade like a professional. And if we do so, probably we should not end up losing our phase 2. But we are currently 5% down. Max DD is 8% down. This is not FTMO, this is not Funded Next, not MyFF. So smart prop trader, their max DD is 8%. 8. And I'm already 5% down. So basically I have 3% left until game over. 3% left, botched confidence in myself, because whenever I'm 4% down, that means there is a problem. Initially, I thought that the only problem that could exist is the problem with the strategy. After backtesting for a week, after thinking about it deeply, I realized that the only problem is there's no problem with strategy. Strategy is working fine. The problem is with me, and I'm not following my strats, which is causing me losses. So next time, what I said before when I have a losing streak of 4%, what I told myself what I should do is, I think it was September, yeah, after Funded Next competition. I told myself that when I'm 4% down, when I'm 4% down, however it happens, stop trading, pause, do deep back testing, use 4 months to test the improved version of the strategy. If it's profitable, return to your live accounts and continue trading. That's the option you should use if the strategy is the problem. You improve it, you test it, then you return. But now it was not the strategy that had the issue, it was me that was not executing the strategy properly. That's what caused this failure in February. February is 3% down. January was 2% down. January we even had a trade that could have passed the shit, but because of hedges and a bunch of stuff, we were not able to do it. But February was worse. Trade management was terrible. Five losses, we are 3% down. 5. That's not normal. Like, that's not normal. I'm very good at minimizing my losses, and February the trade management was absolutely terrible. It was terrible. I was not raising my stops as I should have because I was hopeful. When it's coming down, I'm like, it's go up, it's go up. What? I was trading like an amateur, Sha. In summary, I was trading like an amateur when I should be trading like a professional. And I paid the price. That's simple as that. Paid the price. And it's all in the past now. We have to move on. We have to move on. And that's what we're going to do in March. We're going to trade with professional, execute the strategy as we should. And hopefully, we will pass the phase 2, or at least not lose the phase 2 in March or April. So, yeah, that's all, right? Yes, that's all. 5 trades are taken. Out of the 5, 3 should have not existed because they did not qualify, they did not meet our rules. When your schematics are false, when your schematic are false, when your schematic is not qualified, the trade you'll be taking on the schematic is not qualified. This will happen on GU. Learn from that mistake, learn from these mistakes. So, if you are the problem, what you should do is you should take a week break. Take 1 week for a break. And during that week, you should at least the first 2 days to do deep backtesting, check what actually went wrong, check the previous trades, check the minute details, the retrace, the conservativeness, the aggressiveness of the currency, whether the currency's characteristic is changing, the retracements, how deep was it, did it reduce, the range, are the boundaries being tested as normal, are the wicks breaking out, are the closes, like you check the details. It took me a while to actually do this, but after, like I thought the strategy was the problem, so I was really kind of micromanaging each part of the strategy, which is smart, which is a good thing to do if your strategy is having issues, so you can know what to improve. But after doing this backtesting, I realized that there's nothing to improve. The strategy is fine. If I had obeyed the strategy, I would have come out profitable. And I didn't. And hopefully, I've caught myself now, noticing these mistakes, noticing the impatience, noticing the greed, noticing the poor execution, noticing the poor trade management. I can do better. And if I can't do better and my strategy is still working, I should be profitable in March, in April, probably in May. And hopefully I can pass the challenge. 5% down, so that means I need 10% now to pass phase 2. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Anyhow, let's see how this goes. Forward is the only direction. What do you have? Don't have a choice. Don't have a choice. Can't give up, at least now. So we're going to keep doing our best because that's really all we can do. We've made big mistakes, but we can't let that hold us back. We have to move on. Forward is the only direction. Sayonara.